Sandstorm old enough to drink? I'd believe that. Good talk. Okay, how's everyone doing this afternoon? That was a heck of an exhibition of Star 99. Props to Shema for that amazing game. I've got it myself on Steam. Everybody should pick it up. It's super duper fun. If you ever played Twinkle Star Sprites and wanted to have a game similar to that's more modern, there's your choice. So anyway, today, continuing on Feed the Kids, we have X-Men Arcade, preceding a couple of other arcade games from yours truly. I'm actually going to be doing something not entirely different for me today. Like, I mean, I do 1cc attempts to this game on the regular, but there are a number of things for marathon plays that I've actually not done. Similar to WrestleMania last night, this is another game I was hoping to have character bid war available for, and I'm pretty sure I know who would have won it, and that's why I'm going to play that person today. Weren't able to get the incentive live in time, but we greatly appreciate you all with your donations for sure. Keep them coming, because we're about to meet that Contrib goal. Alright, so this here is the two-player version of the game that I am pretty sure was only released in Japan, maybe also in Europe, but there was definitely never a two-player version in the US. 4 was the smallest we got. The speed strats associated with a 1cc involve mutant power abuse, but not to the point of like where we're supposed to be taking deaths or anything. There's a decent amount of safety that's going to be utilized, but there's a good amount of risky strats as well. So we're going to go ahead and pop our quarter in, and I'm going to pick everybody's favorite metal mutant at 3, 2, 1, go. And I'm playing Colossus just because, like I said, even though there was no bid war attached to it, I know everybody wants to see this character, and it's pretty easy to see why. Colossus is awesome. He's not the best character in the game, but he's arguably the most fun to play. And plus, he's the meme king of this game. Ask anyone who's ever been to MagFest. We're gonna go ahead and pop this off. And get used to hearing that, because you're gonna hear it a lot, and I'm sure everybody's gonna enjoy the heck out of that. Feeding the scrapyard in this case. Hey, 7 enemies, gone. Big ol' I win button. This one's a little tricky. I have to make sure this pink guy shows up on screen. So this is the reason why we're playing the Japanese version. In the 2P version, we have health ups, and that's gonna help us be able to continue to abuse this. As you can see, we reached the boss in 45 seconds. Wouldn't have been likely otherwise. Okay, so for Pyro, all I'm hoping here is that he just doesn't really get out of hand. If he starts jumping around like an idiot, then he's gonna drain a lot of time. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Forgot he gets iframes at exactly that point. There we go. Not the worst, but here we are. So stage 1's really short, not a whole lot to talk about there. Just get to see Colossus sparkle a whole bunch. Throw him that way. Also in the Japanese version of this game, you get an expanded moveset that features moves you can do that are just additional attacks by holding a direction. Colossus has 2 of them himself, but they're unfortunately not particularly good. I'd rather just be doing his jab, like his basic jab like this one. Well, that's a cross. Little jab like this is honestly his best move just because of how fast it is. The range isn't good, but it's still incredibly strong just because of the speed. Take out those guys with hop kicks. 7 more enemies. Pop off. Waltz forward. Get rid of these guys. You just gotta spawn. One very easy mistake to make is to not wait long enough for the pink guys to show up on screen. If you don't do that, then they may spawn their health ups off screen and you can't reach them. Colossus destroys the wall, take 1. And action. So anyway, for the JP version, Colossus's moveset expansion isn't that great. What is expanded, however, is his ability to abuse throws. He has the most throws of anybody in the game, and his 2 primary throws you see the most often are definitely his worst. But in this version, we have the, what I call just the garbage toss, where he just grabs an enemy by the head and just hurls them across the screen. You can only do that one from reverse in the US version. But for the JP version, you can actually hit it from the front, and that's incredibly good and abusable. So Blob has a pretty specific strat. Not getting thrown is part of that. Sometimes he does wake up throw, and there's nothing you can do about it. It has just pure iframes. But if he doesn't, then he gets hit 3 times by the hop kick you see there, which is really, really good. For the 4th cycle of hits, you can't abuse it, unfortunately. Let's finish him off from there. Now, that is a really good strat, but it does have its issues. Like I said, wake up throw is disgustingly strong against you there, so you just want it not to happen, but it's also completely random whether or not it does. Right, on to stage 3. This is where enemies get a pretty serious health upgrade. Past this first wave of green sentinels, every sentinel from here in this stage has double the health. You get to do double knockdowns, but of course our mutant power doesn't care. Throwing enemies around. I tend to want to save my early mutant powers for making sure those lizard guys get taken care of. They have less health than the sentinels, but they also can't be thrown, and I like having the option to select a throw available. Get rid of these flowers. Easy peasy. We've got a health up in this next spot of enemies, so we're fine on the health abuse so far. Snag this. Go ahead and use this here. I debate whether or not I should really use that there, but double lizards is kind of ugly. Like, I'm just not a fan. Leave me alone, please. These guys are going to take out the standard way. Also helps one-shot this guy. Just get right on the sprite and they can't deal with it. They just lose immediately. That's not good. I did not expect to get fireballed right in the middle of the screen. This guy does have a mutant power, which is going to be helpful, but that was still, like... That was still very costly because that reduced me from 4 health to 2. And that's really bad because that means I lose out on a mutant power to abuse. I think I'm going to use the other one here. This is going to be really risky, but 3 lizards is a problem, so I'd rather just keep it as well maintained as I can. And I'm going to go into some quiet here, though. No. Sentinels try to be stealthy with their incoming for their hits like that. Tag those guys. Put them all in the corner so I can punch them while they're down. This also gives us good option selects. If they get up, we can actually throw them. Saw there the neck breaker headlock, for example. This guy is the one that has health, though. Not good. He's trying to size me up. Don't love that. Okay, these guys I'm going to have to take care of the simple way. That was really scary. Taking that fireball in the middle section was problematic. Anyway, get ready, because he's going to say the thing. Colossus is absolutely a Tekken character. Who would ever doubt that? Wipe out those things. I don't actually know what those enemies are called. I just call them guppies for some reason. So we're going to have Wendigo. This is a really easy fight for some characters. For Colossus, it's kind of wonky. We have the range to be able to beat him out, but we don't have the range to be lame, if that makes sense. The lamest we can be is to just do this, have him line up with us, and just hit him while at max range. Which does work really well, but I'm not a huge fan of it because it's slow. But he really can't do much better that's safe. Like, I could just do stuff on him where I'd just be like, hey, here's a hop kick, and then stuff like that happens, you know? Don't love it. Wendigo, much like Blob, has a really busted throw, and you saw there, he 360'd me with that throw. Like, I was behind him, and he still grabbed me in reverse. And there was nothing I could do to stop it. You can break a throw with a mutant power, but I prefer to keep the health. Throw does less damage than the mutant power does. Alright, a little longer than I would have liked, but business was taken care of. Quick little segment of these guppies. Ooh, I still had iframes there, so that guy didn't get to hit me. That was very lucky. Take that out. I'm actually going to take out this wave of sentinels just by brawling. They have a pretty good amount of health, but again, throws as your option select is very, very good because that just one-shots them. And it's really good for crowd control. This I'm going to take out because I don't want to deal with that lizard. Lizards actually get an expanded moveset in this stage. They acquire the ability to be able to breathe fire, and that's really, really annoying. Before, all they had was that jumping tail whip that you just saw there, and while that move is really good, having them have the fire breath on top of it as like an anti-air or mid-range move is really strong for them, and I'd rather just not have to deal with that. Pop one off here so we can get the stock. I'm just going to walk past these lizards and spawn the next wave of enemies, because this guy has a health up, and this is going to be really nice to have. Don't like the fact this guy was still on the ground, though. I feel like that should have hit him. Alright, so for this bat here, I tried to get the infinite, but that visual cue is really hard. Still shouldn't be too bad from here, but I don't like getting hit. So the reason this fight is aggravating is because these mini bats that he spawns, they act as meat shields, in that if they're on top of him, I'll always hit them as priority before him. Not by choice, it's just how the game affects it. So that wasn't great, but even with a couple damage later, we're still fine. We can brawl pretty well through this next section, so we should be okay. For this segment here, I could do a mutant power here just to kill all 7 of them, but I don't feel that's necessary because this is just a quick auto-scroll elevator and don't really need to. We don't get any speed by doing that. For these guppies we would, but they're really easy to take out, thankfully. Unfortunately, I didn't get the triple kill, but that's cool. Alright, so we have a health up in this next section, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this first. Oh, I didn't know if that guy was spawned yet. That was pretty clutch. But these guys will show up. There's my health up. I'll take that. Waltz past these Samuses. I actually don't know the names of those enemies either, but I just call them Samuses because they remind me of Samus Aran from Metroid. Actually, I could just do this. And I've got one more mutant power with one more additional health up right before the boss. Let them all do that to each other. These Sentinels also have reduced health. I think they only have 3. Nope, they had double life bar. That was my mistake. Here's our last health up. We're going to do this. Obtain that. Then here we have the first boss for Colossus I would actually call difficult. This is Nimrod. He's a jerk. He has a throw just like the previous 2 bosses that has just as much invincibility. In addition to that, he also has that laser move he just anti-aired me with, and that move is just obnoxious to have to fight. Like, you basically can't fight it for the most part. You just have to avoid it. My usual strat for him is to just hit him once on his wake up. Usually pretty consistent. I think he can throw out of that, but he does it less consistently than the other 2. And then I just go for a hop kick to hit twice. It takes, I believe, 9 cycles of this, though it might take more if you're doing the hop kick strat. It's the price for being lame, I guess. Whoa, that was some iframes. Stop. And one more, I think. Okay, cool. So, thing to note about iframes in this game, the majority of bosses have, how do I put this? It's inconsistent between different versions of the game, but after a certain amount of cycles, after 2 or 1 hit of a given cycle, the bosses will just get iframes. There's a way to actually visual cue that if you're doing practice. If a boss stands still after you like hit them even once, then that means they have iframes. If you're within range of them, then they're gonna try to hit you. But if you're out of range, then you just miss them. They just stand there and look like doofuses and then get nothing out of it, neither do you. Use a quick sparkle here. So this stage has been kind of annoying to me recently. I like to be able to use my last mutant power before the elevator descends, but I've actually lost a couple of runs that way due to losing lives in unnecessary places. Cool thing here, you can just stay behind this wall and they're never gonna hit me. Like, this is just pure camping. It's not fast, but it's safe. Maybe they'll come over here, maybe they won't. I prefer if they did, but hard to tell with these guys. Red Samuses are by far the bigger threat because they can shoot on the ground. The green ones can only shoot in the air, which actually is a threat against Colossus, but not so much that it derails his game plan. Nimrod definitely confirmed drama queen. So for Emma, we're gonna have to do some iframes practice. I believe after, I think it's the 4th cycle here. I'm gonna hit her twice. Oh, hit her, okay, so she's on the 1 cycle, or the 1 hit cycle in iframes. During her last cycle, same thing is gonna happen. Finish her off there. I'm actually gonna let all these things just pour out of the tunnel. I was actually pretty surprised to find it's faster to do that. So we do it. Okay, so I'm gonna wait up for a bunch of these enemies to spawn. There is a health up on the left side that's coming in. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that and abuse all my health. Snag this. Don't love this. Red Samus is lining up as bad. Here in just a bit, I'm definitely gonna be abusing this. We have another health up before too long and a mutant power stock. So I'll probably use that against them. That throw was amazing. Okay. I thought we'd be able to see more enemies, so kind of disappointed we didn't. I'm gonna let all this nonsense flock in. I've still got quite a bit of health to work with. I want all these guys to show before I just let this loose. Take that. New enemy we're gonna see here. This is the Bone Breakers. These guys can be annoying for some characters, particularly those who don't have very good range. So yeah, for Colossus, they're not the most fun. Kind of had to just pin them in the corner with jabs like I did there. Last little wave of Sentinels. These guys are nothing special. They don't have projectiles. They can only melee us. There's just a lot of them, so it's a strength and numbers complex. Some versions, I think in the 6-player version, there's like 9 of them that spawn there. So on to Juggernaut. Another big meme in this game. Juggernaut has a bazooka, lol. I did not want to get hit by that. So as you can see, the shoulder is by far the biggest threat in this fight. The punch is also annoying. Wow, okay, video game. You are acting crazy right now. Like, I mean, I'm doing what I normally do, bait out shoulder, but now he's actually hitting me, so I guess I have to be a bit more careful. Whew. Okay, so against Juggernaut, my primary strat is to make sure I always have the high ground. Oh my god, this is terrible. I'm actually going to be quiet here. Give me one moment. I do not want to get hit here. If he hits me with literally anything, I lose a life. I had no idea he was going to be able to act up on me that much. I also want to make sure he gets off the stairs. That's really lame. He backed up on that shot, and there wasn't really anything I could do. He is abusing a ton of iframes, more than normal. So yeah, pretty unhappy about that death, especially from a full bar of life. 1 CC is still possible, but it's going to be a lot harder without that extra life buffer. Very unfortunate there. Okay. Let's try to collect myself here. Stage 6 is arguably the hardest stage in the game, depending on character. It's not super easy for Colossus, but there are things he can do that are really useful. Particularly, I think he has a really good fight against the bosses, for example. Take that out. One of the bigger threats are actually just the standard Sentinels. I mean, you fight them like you normally would, but these white Sentinels have a lot more health than other previous enemies. Like, I think they require 3 knockdowns for a kill in most cases, as opposed to 2, like in the previous 3 stages. Let's run on over, do this. There's a guy right beyond that who has a health up. But of course I had to try to play a little safe here, so I took that death. I think the bigger threat to the last life that we have is actually going to be stage 7, but I'm going to do my best here. Big issue here is that all these enemies can zone us. The white Sentinels have really good fireball capability. I'll let all this spawn in so I can do this. Wow. Still alive, huh? That guy still wouldn't die. Not feeling great on the life, but I do this mutant power stock to blow up these pyros with. And yes, I am playing this on a fight stick, particularly the Quamba Crystal. It's a PS4 fight stick that also works on PC and PS3. That's not good. I was hoping for an option select there. Alright, so all this means is I can't use the mutant power on the last wave of Sentinels that we're going to see. We are going to get another health up, so we should be fine, but I do have to play this a little bit safe. I got to wait for these guys to come back. There's no way I'm chasing them. Leave me alone. There we go. So I'm going to hold on to this health for a bit. The boss fight we have here is admittedly one of the hardest, just because in one instance you have to fight 2 of them at the same time, and they have really good priority on their attacks, particularly their melee, which the first 2, that's all they have is their melee attack, but it has a lot of invincibility and a lot of range, and a knockdown does 3 damage. In other words, you don't want to get hit by it. Luckily for Colossus, his attacks are so fast that we can generally interrupt anything they want to do, unless they get iframes. So that's what we have to watch out for. So I'm gonna do a little bit of footsies here. That was unfortunate. Wow. Okay, game. So that takes care of the first 2. And then for the last form, we only have to fight 1, so this is actually a bit easier, but his moveset does get expanded. He has these eye lasers that he can utilize, which I'm honestly not that scared of, because the startup on them is really long, so if I hear it coming, then I can just move out of the way. That's unfortunate, though. That was iframes abuse for sure. Okay, there we go. Yeah, even though I primarily play Storm in this game, especially in this version, I actually think Storm's boss fight there is way harder than Colossus's because she can't really smother them the same way he does. Like, Storm's greatest asset is her range, but they can outrange her, whereas Colossus can just get up in their face and not let them do anything. Similar to Cyclops. I like the Cyclops fight against those guys, too. Anyway, that was then. This is now. This is our last full stage. It isn't just a boss fight, but it will have quite a few boss fights. We actually have a boss rush coming up in this stage with reduced health enemies, reduced health bosses from almost every boss we've seen in the game up to this point. We'll get to that in a moment, though. Right now, I'm going to sparkle a bunch. Weep. Big ol' I win button. This guy's going to give us a health up, so we're going to abuse that. We got 3 segments of bone breakers. First 2 we're just going to melee to death. And these guys we're going to let come in. That's unfortunate. I don't know how that guy got away from that. Makes me wonder if I even hit him to begin with. And these guys I'm just going to mutant power to death. The one got away. Gross. The reason I use the mutant power there is just because I have the health to do so. We only have 2 more waves of enemies, and these guys are going to drop all kinds of just food on us here. By food, I mean whatever these mutant power stocks are, orbs, I guess. All right, so here's our boss rush. Blob is the first one, and I actually think he's one of the harder refights, particularly because one of the reasons the early blob fight is actually not that bad is because we can corner him. Here we don't have that capability. Here he has full range of movement, which isn't good for us, so I tend to want to do dives. He can interrupt dives with throws, but that's all I can interrupt them with. I wasn't sure if that was going to hit or not. Had some second guesses there. Wendigo pretty much goes the same as the first time it did. I'm not going to do anything unsafe because, like I said, I'm down a life. I'd prefer to try to be able to maintain that. Also, I should have asked, but the estimate on this is going to go down quite a bit. The Colossus run is actually pretty short, so we should be on like a 30 estimate here. And I believe for all of the non-Emma bosses here, it takes 6 cycles to put them down. Emma's going to be, I think, 5. Originally, with the exception of Emma, they're all 9 cycles to take down, whereas Emma's originally 6. Emma also one of the harder refights here. Mostly because what I want to do is be able to get her over to the left. That way I can just do this. Like, I can just abuse in the corner. Dodge iframes, get that. Nice. The reason that's hard is because if I didn't get her over to the left, she probably would have killed me. And I know I can't show that very well there. I'm actually surprised Nimrod's going to the left. This is not common. Might be able to kill him here, though. Quick thing about this game, if an enemy's off screen, they can't attack you with zoning. So from off screen where he is right now, Nimrod cannot throw his lasers at me. That's why I like this position. He can do that, though. I did not want to spawn Juggernaut. This is really bad all of a sudden. Spend my stock. Spend my other stock. Okay. There goes the credit. That sucks. 1 CC lost. Admittedly, I've been practicing these strats all week with Colossus and never got the run, so I wanted to see if today would be the day. So we're just going to finish it off from here. 2 CC is something I'm okay with, but Nimrod hitting us over there into Juggernaut was the coup de grace. Big ol' unfortunate. This is actually the fight I'm most scared of during the boss rush. This first phase of Magneto is honestly really hard. Range is actually a really, really big factor against this enemy because what he can do is he has this kick that's incredibly overpowered. It's faster than any attack I have except for maybe my jab, but it has more range. See, like right there. If she had chosen to, spoiler, I probably could have been killed against the corner there. Reason being is because the kick puts you down and the kick can just hit you again on wake up and there's just absolutely nothing you can do to stop it. It's just too fast and you can't move away from it. Honestly, the biggest blame I have for this particular attempt is I just don't understand what happened in that Juggernaut fight on stage 5. He just did so many things that I wasn't aware he could do. But oh well. So into Magneto. This fight honestly isn't that bad. He does have a lot of nonsense. Things to watch out for. That fireball does 4 damage. Don't ever get hit by it. Shield is clearly some garbage. He's purely invincible while he's in shield, but you can break it by using a mutant power. I'm not going to do that right now. I'd rather just wait it out. That way I can get this free hit. Recovery, the big upside of shield is that after recovery, you basically have forever just to try to tag him. It's a pretty long fight. Iframes. Konami games. So there's the kick that Mystique could have used, but didn't for whatever reason. But Mystique's is better because it puts you down in 1 hit. It does 3 damage and it just causes immediate knockdown, whereas Magneto actually has to combo you with his. Does do more damage though, I think, but I'd rather be able to like try to DI my way out of... That was cheap. I'd rather be able to DI my way out of a combo than just be hit by something that I can't handle. Big thing here is just make sure you can maintain your range. When Magneto's taunting you, I don't recommend approaching him because he can cancel out of a taunt to anything, unless he laughs. If he laughs, he commits to that. That's the 3rd time he's shielded on an approach. I'm actually quite impressed he's playing correctly. Because that's all I'd use shield for. Get near me, just do that. Another laugh. Similar to Juggernaut, what I do with Colossus is I always try to maintain the high ground. really, really good against Magneto because you can just basically hit him to your heart's content as long as he's trying to come from below. This is amazing. I've never seen him use shield this correctly, probably ever. Like, this is disgusting. Put you down. Now I'm just annoyed. I'm gonna put that away. That's a laugh. Probably shouldn't be doing that, though. Not too many cycles left. There we go. That'll be time. I figured even sub 25 is possible. Unfortunate the 1cc didn't happen, but... Man, that Juggernaut fight caught me way off guard, but I'll settle for a 2cc for something I couldn't get this week. I have 1cc this version with Colossus, but I wasn't using speed strats, whereas this time I was. The stuff happens. We'll put in more practice for next time. Thank you all for the GGs, Stone and Jason. Oh, I didn't mean to start that over. Go ahead and reset it here. I gotta check something real quick. So this game actually does have loops, unless you're playing the digital download version, because then it just game overs. Thank you all for the GGs as well. Bedwa and Funk and Echo and DMC and Mango and Smitty. All right, that's gonna do it for X-Men. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I always enjoy playing Colossus. He's really fun. Stick right around, and we'll be back shortly with some Vigilante.